Hello, everybody. What's up? It's your girl, Lauren Reed from the Lauren Reed Live Show. And I am here with my co-host, my partner in crime, Jay the Gentleman. What is up?
What's up, Lauren? What's up? How you doing?
Just over here being boring.
Yeah, right. Just working,
you know,
paying bills,
doing
doing your
adult
thing.
adult life things. You know how that go, right?
Word up, word up. Everything's
But
cool though.
yeah,
Staying busy. We got another great show today. But
absolutely.
everything cool?
Everything is great. So I know this show will be released later, but yesterday was my birthday. So
Yes. Happy
I had
belated.
my 37th year around the sun yesterday.
Yeah, how you
and
feeling?
I felt good, like I'm blessed just to have us to see another year. I was happy that this year I was actually able to go out somewhere and
Right.
have dinner. Last year I had to make my own dinner. But this year I was actually able to go out with my friends and were able to go to dinner. A small, very small group, was only four of us. And I'm going to be doing something again this week with you and the crew. And I went out with you guys too as well. So it was definitely a better feel this year than it was last year. So I was really excited about that.
Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. How are you?
I'm good. Just busy with the water ice content, and we got some big things coming up soon, and
Yes.
we got some other stuff with the Jada Gentleman brand coming up. So just working in the meantime, trying to work on my mental health, my fitness, all that stuff. So
Jay,
summertime.
guess what I did, Jay?
Did you get it?
I did. I bought a Peloton, you guys. Is that like considered? Maybe I
Damn.
won't be boring now because I bought a Peloton. Maybe that'll spice me up a little
I
bit.
mean, look, I think it's perfect timing. Get right for the summer. I think things are gonna be opening up,
Yeah.
and why not start now? It's April,
trying to
so
trying to get these quarantine pounds off of me. So that was my birthday gift to myself. I bought myself a Peloton.
it's a good investment.
It comes on Saturday. So we're about to, I'm
Nice.
going to let it sit though. Saturday, Sunday. I'm gonna start on Monday. Start on Monday. Going to give it a
Just
ride
as
on.
long as it doesn't turn into a coat rack by the end of the week.
No, no,
You know what
no.
I mean?
When I hit submit, when I made that payment, it was like this. That's not
True.
allowed. That's not allowed. That
True.
is definitely not
True.
allowed. But
True.
yeah, I get it. And you know what, you guys? I think I am going to make a special announcement at the end of the show because by the time this show's aired, you guys will know about, an event that we have going up. So why not announce it that it's coming back, right?
I like it.
All right, well, let's jump into the show. Who we got tonight?
Yes. We're gonna take it back to TU days. This gentleman coming on the show. Known him for a while, and we've always bumped into each other at events, and we caught up recently a couple years ago, and he just recently launched his new company called A Taste of the Culture, and it's a subscription based uh, um, liquor. You buy liquor and it's black owned, and you get different types of liquor every month. It's a really cool subscription box.
Mhm.
And I'm very excited to talk to him about it. He's got some big things coming up, and we'll talk about his journey up to this point. So without further ado, let's welcome Sean McCloud to the
Hey,
show.
Sean.
Hey, hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Well, today is 70 degrees, so I'm always happy when it's warm out. It is spring.
Word,
That's what's up.
word.
Thank you
Thanks for.
so much for coming on.
Yep.
Thank you for having me. The pleasure is all mine. I'm always happy to talk about what I do for a living. So,
Cool, cool. So let's jump right into it. Let's. I want to talk about currently, and then I'm sure Jay will probably want to take it back a little bit about how you got started. But a taste of the culture. Can you talk to our audience about what it is and what you actually do?
sure, sure. So Jay teed it up pretty well. A Taste of the Culture is actually the first subscription platform or box, whatever you want to call it, that features Black-owned wine and spirits exclusively. So the idea is, I want to take people on a journey, right? There are so many Black-owned wine and spirits out there that a lot of people don't know about, including myself when I first started, right? And the idea is that every month I'll send you something different, whether it's a wine, a spirit, a mixer, actually, which are also included in the box,
Cool.
liqueurs, cognac, whiskey, everything in between. And every month, I'll pair things pretty cool, like a glass or a bar spoon or even a candle, which I just did recently,
Oh
pair with
wow.
the wine. And everything in the box, as much as I can make it, is Black owned. And I'm Black, so it's Black all around. Um, and it came from a desire for me to use my skills for something that was that meant a lot to me, to put it to add some emotion to it, I guess. And that's kind of how it really got started for me.
I mean, I think this is such a really dope idea because
Thank you.
I think first and foremost is like awareness. I didn't realize there was so many black owned businesses that sell spirits, liquor, wine. I knew of a few, but not to the extent where you're always showcasing different brands like every month, which is crazy. How did you find these people?
So it all happened kind of at once. I think the pandemic and all of the really unfortunate situations last spring,
Mhm.
George Floyd and others really shined a light on Black-owned businesses, right? So that was kind
Mm.
of the silver lining of what happened. So there's people I follow on Instagram that I have followed for the cocktail culture. We'll drink for travel to give them some plugs out there. Them and some other people have always kind of talked about Black-owned brands. So I got some things from them, but I also did a lot of research, and I got to a point, thankfully, where people started reaching out to me, which I thought was kind of cool. So it's just realizing that the internet has everything. You just got to dive deep and know where to look. So my experience, I think, helped where I could kind of know where to look and figure some things out. But yeah, it's just a lot of research and conversations, and I think that's kind of how it got here. I started looking and researching back in May,
Mm.
and then I actually didn't launch the box until November. So it took me some time to kind of get things together last year with legal things and research and just making sure I got everything the way I wanted it to be throughout the year.
Very
That's
cool.
that's really cool. When I was browsing on the website, I noticed that I mean, like Jay was saying, there's a ton. I was like, maybe I didn't read this right. Is he saying that these are all black owned spirits or wines? Like I had to go back and read it again, and I was like, I totally did not know. Like Jay said, it was so many. Um, when you were doing your research, did you find that a lot of these businesses were in like large cities or more so people are from rural areas? Like, is it a reason why we just like a lot of people just don't know?
So yes and no to that. I think it's a combination of things. I think much like the word craft, which is popular in the beer and spirits industry, right? Brands are craft brands when they're small. They don't have large machines behind them to
Hmm.
help them grow. And I think that's what happens with these brands where they become regional. They become regional stars where in their cities where they're made, they're very popular. There are a lot of black-owned brands in the DMV area. I'll say that, whether it be actually DC, Maryland, or Virginia. There's a few in Charlotte. There's some in Florida. They're kind of really spread all over the country. For the most part, they're in big cities. But I think what happens is the biggest hurdle that these brands encounter, which is why I decided to create the business, is they have a really hard time getting distribution
Mm.
and funding for that, right? And distribution is something that's really managed by a couple major players. I used to work for one actually a couple years ago, and that's how a part of my journey in the industry. But some of them do have it, but it's hard, when you
So are you
have all
basically
the
saying if you're
gigantic.
not, I'm sorry, are you basically saying
No,
if
you're fine.
you're not Diddy or Jay, you're not getting that you're not getting that distribution?
Well, and you know what? That's a whole other part of the conversation that I'm sure we'll have, and I think kudos to both of them because I think they made a huge difference in the industry in a certain way to make it, one to inspire people, but to make it possible for it to happen. But I think for me, realizing that celebrity brands are great, but there's actually people that really are into it. You know what I mean? Like whether it's their full time job or not, they do it for a living. They went from the ground up, and not to say some of the celebrities didn't. I mean, The Rock has a tequila. He's black. Every time you turn around, somebody has something. Michael Jordan has a tequila that he's partnered with. LeBron James has one now, right? So you have to give that credit to them. But there's people like you and me that started some brands, and some of them have been around, for 10 years or more. It's just a matter of because they were only in their areas and don't have access to be available around the country, the awareness just wasn't there.
You mentioned the tequila, and I kind of want to ask your opinion on
Sure.
what do you, there's been like a boom in celebrity endorsements with tequila. Why all of a sudden, like The Rock has one, like obviously Casamigos with George Clooney and De Leon, and like what is that? What was the reason for that? Like there's like this big boom. Is it just like a wave, and there might be another spirit that's like coming out, that's gonna be another popping thing, or was it that people just really like tequila, or they saw the money in it, or what?
Well, I mean, I think all of that's included. I
Yeah.
think for tequila, well, one, you're right about waves. Spirits definitely go in waves. I mean, maybe 15 years ago and a little bit after that, flavored vodka was all the rage,
Oh my
right? You know,
God.
Sex in the
Ciroc,
City,
Ciroc.
Yes.
right?
Grey
Well, right.
Goose.
So Sex in the City made Cosmos popular, and then from then on, you know, vodka flavors came out, and you know, some brands have had 40 flavors of vodka, right? So
Right.
that was a wave, and that was a popular thing that happened. Whiskey had this moment for a
Yes.
long time, and it's still having a moment, but you know, it was the spirit of the moment for a long time.
Yep.
I think tequila is that. I think Casamigos that you mentioned, I think is a big part of that, where a celebrity and you know, you got to give George Clooney credit. I don't know a ton about that deal. Like I know obviously the financials of it and kind of how it works, but his involvement, right? Like he actually was involved with it in some kind of way, probably, right? But you know, once people hear $1 billion, they're like, wow, I can do that. So I think that's kind of
Hmm.
what happens. I think another thing with tequila is people are realizing that it doesn't have to be just a shot spirit, right?
Hmm.
Most people's first tequila experience was not positive.
Correct.
And I think a lot of things are changing that. You know, some of the brands I used to work for are a big part of that. Some other brands like Patron,
Hmm.
1942, I think is you know, one of those brands that change people's minds. Where you're like, all right, I can drink tequila, I can sip it, or I can make a great cocktail. I'm actually drinking tequila now. So
Nice.
yeah, I mean, it's, you know, it's a great spirit. You can do a lot with it. And I think people are starting to realize that. So I think when all those things converge, you have this gigantic, you know, wave of popularity. But for sure, I think another year or two there'll be another boom.
Well, I feel
I
like
think
Jin. I feel like Jin is having a little moment. Do you
it
think
is.
Jin's gonna be the next one, or do you think there's gonna be another spirit that's gonna kind of like really be the next wave?
I think gin's having this moment. I think there's a combination of things right now. I think ready to drink cocktails are probably gonna outpace gin when it comes to that, right? Because you have seltzers, which got really big, the White Claws and things
Yes.
like that. But
Yes.
a lot of the spirits companies are like, wait, we can do something similar, and they're making drinks in a can. And
Right.
those are not only they taste great, but they're quick and easy, and that's what people want. They want things to be quick and easy. You can't blame them, right? So I think those will kind of be what takes off, and you can do that with different spirits. I mean, there's vodka based ones, there's tequila based ones, whiskey, gin, all of that. So I think
Yeah.
that's going to be kind of the really popular thing in the next couple of years.
Nice.
Good stuff. So, the actual box, you say you like pair it with a lot of different things. Sometimes a candle. You said you put other stuff in there. Does that depend on what the spirit or the wine is for the month that you decide? And how do you decide how to pair
Yeah.
those things?
For me, I try to, you know, hopefully I've been doing good so far. I haven't gotten any complaints, but I do everything. I work with the brands and I'll pick the spirit, and then I'll kind of think of what makes sense. So just as an example, I mean, I'll show you guys some stuff I've done so far.
Cool.
Um, this sparkling wine was actually the first. It was featured in the first box, and I sent it out in December. So I sent champagne flutes, right? So New Year's
Cool.
Eve was in December, so I was like, hey, that makes a lot of sense.
Perfect.
Quick and easy. People got the toast. In January, I did something pretty cool with a liqueur. It's called LS Cream,
Hmm.
and cream liqueurs are different, right? Where they're mostly known for the holidays. Most people know them for like Irish. I don't want to say the
Yeah.
name of that drink, but you know what I'm
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, you know, thank God people are starting to realize that those drink names are the best. But but the cool thing about LS Cream is it's really it tastes really great, and you can do a lot of different things cocktail wise with it. So what
Okay.
I decided to do was make something called the Summer in January box, where I paired this with a caramelized pineapple and coconut water mixer, and you pretty much
That
make a
sounds
pina colada.
bomb.
Thank you. Yeah, so you add some white rum, the LS cream, and the mixer, which I'll grab one before we're off because I still have some of those. You put all those together, and that's your pina colada riff, right? So it's a little bit different, very similar. So yeah, I also gave a glass. So this glass here actually was included in that box.
Oh, cool.
Um, in February, National Margarita Day was in February, so I sent Blue Royal tequila rum. Very unique spirit. It's as crazy
Tequila
as you think
rum.
it is. Right, it's as crazy as you think it is, but it also tastes amazing. That's Blue Royal here, and I
Wow.
sent Hella Cocktail Company, which is a partially black-owned mixer company, and they have a margarita mix that I sent with that box. So I literally just think about trying to pair different, like the mix perfectly cordial that I mentioned before is also black owned. So just having those conversations with people, there is a lot of, again, once you kind of dive in and just on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook or just Google and find these companies, everybody's doing amazing things. So it's just about picking something that works well with each other. In March, I sent Ebony Wine, which is here. So I actually gave people an opportunity to pick between three different varietals. So we did the Fusion Red, a Riesling, or a Moscato, and I paired that with a candle. So the candle
Oh, that's
scent
cool.
smelled like wine, and I sent a wine
Ooh.
opener. So yeah, just trying to try some things, some different things. For April, I'm getting people prepared for Cinco de Mayo. So there's another tequila coming. This is Tolero.
Nice.
So Tolero is an organic tequila. It's 100% blue agave, and I have a black owned mixer and a cocktail rim from two different mixologists
Wow.
that'll be going into that box. So those will be coming to me
Now you're
hopefully in the
speaking
next
my
week.
language.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
love
so
me some
look out for that
tequila,
one.
man.
And
Word.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I have to go with what the people want. We just talked about it, and tequila twice
Absolutely.
already in the 5 months.
you kind of answered my question because I was going to say, do you also try to pair your boxes with other Black owned businesses and things that could to go in the box?
For sure, for sure. So it was very important to me to make everything as black as possible, for lack of a better term. I think that was kind of the more fun part, and I think that's really what blows people away. Is that it's great to have a black owned wine and spirit, but to kind of have everything else be that too is what takes the time, but it's also what's the coolest thing about it.
Yeah.
Especially for a lot of people, like the cocktail rim is made by a mixologist I know. She's in New Orleans. Her name's Denicia. And she does her thing. She makes bottle cocktails. She gives them to people out in her area. But she hasn't done something like this where, she's making a cocktail rim and I'm gonna send it to everyone in the box. So it's not that it's gonna change her life, but it's gonna be a different sort of income stream that she might not have
It
had. And
might.
especially with right, but and it's one of those things, especially how crazy 2020 was for bartenders, mixologists, and people in the industry. It's cool to be able to offer something different, and it was important to me to make everyone in the industry that's black a part of the box as much as I could.
Can you talk about like the like as far as like subscriptions, like the different levels, if there are any levels, or is it kind of you're curating each month? Like, can you just talk about price, like get into the numbers and just kind of get to what people can expect?
Sure, sure. So it breaks out either monthly or quarterly, and it's $85 a month, no matter which you do. So if you do monthly, it's $85 a month. If you do quarterly, it's $85 for the 1 month that you want it. And to be honest, I mean, I guess one of the cool things about being a new entrepreneur is that's changed quite a lot. I think I'm in a good space where it's going to be that, and it's one of those things. I think to make it what it is and as great as it is, and to get it to people the way I do, that's
Mhm.
kind of how the happy medium I was able to find. Um, so what I do is the box is sent out at the end of the month. So if you subscribe by the 15th of the month, you'll receive that month's box. So right now it's April. If you subscribe by April 15th, you'll get your April box that last week of April, which is like the 29th is on a Monday, I
Mhm.
believe. So I'm getting it to you right before Cinco de Mayo. And I'm doing something similar in May where June is National Cognac Days in June. So I'm going to send you a cognac and maize box, and you're going to get that the last week of May. So just kind of so people make sure how the mail can be. I had a lot of issues a couple months ago with that crazy snowstorm in
Sure.
Texas. It
Sure.
really threw everything off. So I tried my best to line things up pretty well. But yeah, so far so good for the most part.
So
Nice.
do your subscribers have the option to say, "Hey, I'm not a tequila drinker. I'm going to pass on this month's box," or do you have an option to say, "Hey, if you don't like tequila, you can always go back to like a oldie but goodie and get a bottle of wine." Like how can they do that?
Very good question. I've thought about things like that. I haven't put anything in place yet, but
Okay.
you asking that again, I'm thinking in July to do that where I give people an option of three different things
Okay.
because I think I'm getting to the point now where there's so many great brands. I want to include everything,
Right.
and I have for the most part I have up until September figured out, and I'm trying to lock down the rest of the year uh, as quick as I can, just because once you get that done, then everything else can happen. But yeah, I think that's a very good idea, and it's something that I've talked about. So I think everyone loves to have options and pick what they want as they should. So more and more, I've been hearing that I need to do something like that. So hey, stay tuned.
Cool.
Excellent. Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
For sure.
So let's take it back to the beginning because you sound like you're really well versed in different spirits and wines, um, and how you mix and pair things together. So, how did you actually get started in this industry?
Good question. So I started in 2013. Um, I would have loved to be before that, but life happens. And I got a really good opportunity to work with Douce Cognac back in 2013. That was my first job, and it was right when they were first expanding beyond the major markets like New York, Miami, LA. So I was responsible for kind of I was like a brand ambassador, you could say,
Hmm.
for Philly and also New Jersey, Connecticut, and Boston. So my job was to educate consumers, people like you, as well as the bartenders, and also sponsor some events with Douce and just get the word out. So it was a cool job. I think for me, it was an awesome first job for one, because I got to really try a bunch of different things. Cognac is an interesting spirit where, it's everywhere. And most spirits are everywhere, but cognac is prominent everywhere, right? Like I heard you guys earlier talking about like steakhouses. I actually had, some of the best fine dining restaurants in all of the markets because cognac is just that spirit. But I also
Yeah.
went to some neighborhood places that, you don't want to go to past midnight and they only took cash, right? So
Right.
so I was able to kind of do everything. So it really was a good first experience to kind of really do some cool things. I worked with some really great bartenders and taught them about the cognac, about the spirit and Jay-Z was, still, I mean, he's very active now, but active in that type of way where it was very top of mind. So, it was a good connection for people to have. So it was fun. I did that job for about a year and a half. The only drawback was that I was part time. So I was constantly emailing and badgering my supervisor to make it a full time role. But, it is what it is. And it definitely set me up very well for the next steps in my journey that I took afterwards.
With all your knowledge in spirits and wine, liquor, events, for someone who's starting off making their own brand of spirit or wine, what are some of the major hurdles that they have to be prepared for? I know earlier you talked about distribution is probably one of the biggest. Are there other things that they should like really look out for when going into this industry?
Good question. I think distribution is a big one, but I think distribution, if you do it the right way, it's not something that should make or break you. I think
Hmm.
today's world, COVID obviously accelerating that. Direct to consumer selling is kind of changed the everything with the industry, and that's the reason why my business is able to exist. Right where 5, 10 years ago, it really wasn't something you could do. So I think if you're starting a wine or spirit, just be authentic. I think everyone has a story. I think use your story and not in a cheesy way, but just be authentic with it. I think that's something that I do with my brand. It's not a coincidence, right? Because most of the best, biggest, most well-known brands that you know about have a really great story tied to them. And for the most part, they're true, right? But at the end of the day, whether it's a person or a group of people or a region of the country or a region of the world that made that spirit what it is or that wine what it is, that's a part of the journey and it's part of the story that you share with people. And that's kind of what separates one brand from another, right? Like there's
Hmm.
1,000,000,000 bajillion vodkas out there, but most people have a connection to certain ones because of a certain part of the story or their connection to it.
I see that you got some hoodie and merch and stuff. Is that something that you're gonna dive into as the business grows a little bit? Like,
For
producing your own.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I do. I have some hoodies. I have fanny packs available, random, but
Oh,
I
cool.
think they're kind of cool on my site now. Laptop sleeves, bags, things like that. I'm definitely looking to, as the year goes on, move into some more merch that kind of fits more with the brand. So I'm
Cool.
working on hopefully by the end of the year having like those insulated wine bags. I think those are really cool to have
Hmm.
for people when they travel and as they're out and about as the world opens up. So that's something that you guys got the first scoop. I'm definitely trying to make that happen by the end of the year. Hopefully sooner. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, because like BYOBs are huge, so having something like that could be a game changer for sure.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, plenty of hoodies now. I have this actually funny is my old like the first logo I made. But the hoodies now pretty much have this logo, which is the current logo.
Okay.
So they're available in white or black or red on the site or green.
Cool.
Um, and they're in men's and women's. Most sizes are out there. And I'll probably add some t-shirts and things like that as the weather gets warmer.
Nice.
Cool.
So, as we get older, or I should say maybe more mature, our palates change as far as liquor is concerned. So, can you kind of like talk to maybe how some of like the spirits that you are featuring in the boxes kind of compare to the big ones that we know, like that may have some similarities. Like I'm about to like go on the site and start looking up these brands and want to support. But right now I'm used to doing, my normal, my Tito's vodka, or
Right.
when I'm feeling a little ratchet, I drink some Crown Apple or whatever like that. So how could I be like, hey, if I like those things, how can I compare them to the spirits that you already have up there that are black owned?
Good
If you
question.
can
So
name
I
like a
think
if you can name a few.
sure. No, and I think that's a good question. I think that's valid. Most people either have memory or some type of attachment to the brands that they love. One of the things I love about the people I've met and the brands that I've tried, because the business started with me doing reviews. So I probably should have got into that earlier, where I didn't really realize that this could be something until I did that. So once I started discovering the brands, the ones that I could try, that I could get my hands on, I bought. I lived in Jersey last year, so there was a little more access out there. And I tried some of the brands. I did some reviews on my Instagram and on YouTube, and people were curious. They were asking, what is this? How can I try it? Where can I buy it? Once I tried them, I was like, this is amazing. And I think that's the thing about a lot of these black owned brands is when you're black in the business world, in any industry, it's harder, right? And you have to do twice, three, four times, five times more than what other people do. And it,
Absolutely.
Mm.
it shows in these spirits and wines where not only are they creative, like again, a tequila rum, like who
Yeah.
would have thought? But it tastes amazing. Like it literally tastes like it tastes like rum, but you also get the agave taste, and it doesn't taste harsh. It doesn't taste like college when you had too many shots of that orangey tequila that isn't really tequila.
Right.
It tastes smooth. It tastes great. LS Cream tastes amazing. Like all of these brands taste great, and I think the creativity, the extra emphasis on quality is something that shines through for a lot of the entrepreneurs in the space that are black because you have to do so much more. But as far as comparisons go, I mean, I think LS Cream is very unique. I think if you are anyone that's of Haitian descent, I think it'll hold a special place for you or them, because it's based off of cremas, which is a Haitian like a holiday drink that's made. So it's usually like a family recipe. But cool thing about the founders of this brand is they were able to turn it into something. So obviously Bailey's or Kahlua or some of those other brands are cream liqueurs of, but LS Cream definitely was able to do it in a different way, with different spices and a different flavor.
Mhm.
Um, I didn't talk about this brand yet, Black Leaf Vodka, which is actually available in. I just started. I released yesterday. Actually, I'm also selling cocktail boxes. Right. So if you don't want to subscribe or you want something different, you can order an actual cocktail kit that's
Cool.
with a spirit and a different mixer and a glass. And this is the first brand that's included. Black Leaf Vodka is actually made in Cognac, France, and it's made from wheat. It's really really great. It's it's a vodka that you can sip neat.
Yeah.
Like it's so it's I would definitely compare it to like a Kettle One or one of those really high end like really velvety vodkas that you can drink straight. Um, I would definitely compare a Tolero, which is going to be featured this month in the box, to a lot of those 100% blue agave tequilas that are popular these days. Don Julio, Casa Noble, brands like that.
Hmm.
That when you have the silver, you can drink it, just with some lime juice, or it'll elevate a margarita in a great way.
So,
Nice.
like earlier, you said, they're start like these brands are reaching out to you now. So, does that mean that they're sending you samples?
For sure, for sure.
Oh, what a tough gig you have. You're the
Well, I
smartest
think
man in the world.
hey, I think to be honest, I had no idea. Now, when I had the idea, I knew it was going to be something that was going to be, I thought it was a good idea. I think that's part of it, right? When you realize that you have something that could work. I bought the first, 7, 8, 9 brands I tried. I bought them, and rightfully so. And I plan to support and buy everything, but I think it ends up being a win-win, right? Where not only am I reviewing the brands, but I'm including them in the box, so that's guaranteed, sales for them for every many subscribers I have at that given time. So I think it makes a lot of sense for the brands, and obviously for me to be able to try them out. And I'm more than happy to to try things and experiment. And that's, to be honest, how I come up with a lot of the pairings, right? So I'll try it and I'll think, all right, this goes with this. I can use this mixer or this in this cocktail. And that's kind of how a lot of those ideas come about is a sample phase.
Nice.
That's what's up. I love it. It's like such a great idea. So
Thank you.
I'm a champagne girl. So shout out some of the champagne brands that you could possibly feature in one of your boxes.
Nice segue. Yes, there's actually a new one that I'm working on. Hopefully, I'll get it in the box this year. It's called La Pen Roulet. And it's actually is a black woman who's from America, but she has a distribution company in the UK, and she specializes in helping brands in America get distribution out there. But she
Cool.
just released a champagne, La Pen Roulet, in America and in the UK. So I'm excited to try that. I should have. I'll try to grab it before we're done. I have it in another room, but it's awesome. I'm excited to include that one. There's also Stuyvesant Champagne, which the owner is based in Brooklyn, so hence the name. But what's cool, again, I think, champagne is important, right? Because it's an appellation. Champagne can only be from Champagne, France. I think
Mhm.
there's a lot of misconception and confusion about that, but kudos, all of these brands that I'm mentioning, all the owners actually went to Champagne, made all the champagne out there, and it's actually real champagne. So
Nice.
Stuyvesant, Marie Césaire is another one that I've heard a lot about that I'm looking forward to trying. Um, there's another one that's called Harlem Champagne, which I haven't had yet, but I just heard about recently, and I'm probably forgetting a couple, but there's a good 5 that I'm pretty aware of. Oh, yeah, no, I have to. There's so much going on, but yeah, I'll start with those.
I mean,
So I'm sorry. You go, Jay. Go.
I was just curious. I don't want to put you on the spot, but it's more of feedback from you. What are some of the spirits or wines that people really like was like, yo, that was bomb, like that so far in your subscription boxes?
Yeah, no, I think, to be honest, I think every month this response has been better.
That's awesome.
LS Cream really blew people away, and again, I think cream liqueur is not something, unless you buy Bailey's all the time, or it's like a holiday thing. That's not in people's wheelhouse.
Yeah.
So I think it
Sure.
was kind of cool for people to try it a different way. And kudos to the husband and wife that own the brand, Stevens and Miriam. They're awesome, and I talked to them in the very beginning, and when I had the idea, they were part of the inspiration for it, to be honest,
Nice.
for the whole subscription. And they were, all about me, including the brand in the subscription. And yeah, and I should mention, I talked to all the brands about their inclusion, because I know how important it is when you build a brand to
Mhm.
know how it's being used. So I talk to everybody. I let them know what I'm doing and how it's going to be used and where it's going and things like that. And people really love that. I think Blue Royal too people were really blown away by that. And it's a totally unique spirit. You wouldn't think to try it. The bottle looks amazing,
Was
and
Brew
that's
Loyal the tequila rum?
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So I think
Yeah, the bottle
this
looks
catches
so
you.
nice.
Yeah. So this part catches your eye, but then when you try it, you're like, wow, like.
Wow.
So I think that's the one that's been, people are like, sign me up. And I think that's a cool thing about being able to send full bottles and the subscription is, I think, it probably would be harder to send sample size when
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
I want people to get that full experience. And
Are they
hey,
750s?
yeah, everything
Okay,
is
nice.
750. And it
Nice.
was important for me to do that, right? I knew that if I was going to get a subscription, I want that for one. But also, I want people to be able to use these beyond just what's in the box, right? So
Sure.
whatever mixer you get can make, maybe 2 or 3 cocktails, but do what you want with it after that. Tell your friends, share it with your friends, my idea for this is to add to people's back bar, right? So when you go to someone's house, they
Mm-hmm.
have a back bar full of black owned wine and spirits, and
So
kind of add to that bar cart, or that bar that they have.
I think
You
that's
just
so
read my mind.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've been talking a lot about distribution and giving ideas to these brands. So are you doing any type of like consulting as well?
Good question. Yes, that's in the works. And again, it's about me using my experience. I've been working in the business since 2013. I've worked for three different companies now, two suppliers and a distributor. So I'm happy to share some of my knowledge, whether it be sales or marketing or events, which I've done kind of a mix of all of that.
Hmm.
So nothing definite now, but I'm open, and I'm having some preliminary conversations with some brands to make that happen. And
That's
that's going to be a side part of the business that, my goal overall is to help all the brands expand. So I would love for that to be a part of it as well.
Once you start events, we gotta circle back to that
yeah,
donuts and
please.
champagne
For sh-
idea that we had
oh man, yeah,
from a
yes,
couple of years
yes, yes,
ago.
yes, yes, yes. Oh man,
I was
I
just
wish we could have done that.
Yeah, no, and we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Like we're gonna do
There you
it.
go. There you
That's
go. There
that's
you
my
go.
goal with you. We're gonna do that one because I was really hyped about that one.
Jay just took the words out of my mouth talking about events. So as the world is opening back up, do you think a taste of the culture will do things like maybe like private wine tastings or spirit
Pop ups or
tastings, things
something.
like that?
For sure, for sure. So I think for many reasons it has to happen. I think for one, it's my background. Even before I worked in spirits, events was my industry, it's my career. But I think I wholeheartedly believe that people's connection to and their affinity for brands that they love comes through events. So, I know
Hmm.
once people actually see and experience what I'm able to offer with this box, it'll kind of make that decision for them. But also, what's kind of cool about these black-owned brands is they are stars in their regions where they're made, right? So, LS Cream is actually from Canada, which is kind of funny. Um, but they're really big in New York. Blue Royals from New York, Ebony Wines from Charlotte, Black Leaf Vodkas from Washington D.C. There's brands that are from all over the country, so there's an opportunity to do events all over the place, and not only embrace and work with the brands that are from that area, but also get exposure for brands that are from other areas. So that's
Hmm.
definitely something I'm working on. I've been talking with some people about doing something in New York this summer. DC is on my radar, and obviously, of course, Philly has to be there as well. So I definitely,
We're
before
doing
the
the
summer is
champagne
over,
and donuts pairing. Like it's
I would
done.
love to, and I'm you know what? Not that I forgot about it, but I'm glad you mentioned that because we have to make that happen for sure.
Yeah. Okay. I just want to make sure it was on
Putting
your
it back there
radar.
in the
Yeah, yeah,
atmosphere.
yeah, yeah, in the
Yeah,
zeitgeist.
no,
All
no,
right.
that's a brunch is coming. We got to do that.
So I have an idea, Sean, and you may
Okay.
have already had this idea, but if not, I just want a little bit of credit. And
I
that's
have a
Hey, of
ton of
course.
ideas.
okay. Um, Jay will tell you I'm a huge music person. He calls me like the human Shazam. Um, so how about pairing a box with a playlist, like different things
Mm.
that you could drink your, you can songs you can listen to while you sip on whatever you're having, in your monthly box. I think that's a way to definitely a great way to bridge the culture with the music and then the black owned brands. It's a great
Create a vibe.
bigger vibe for sure.
So it's funny you say that. So
See,
I had half of that idea, but
okay.
I would definitely give you credit for it because as you said it, another idea popped in my head. But I've been talking with there's a Scotch whiskey that's called Kind of Blue, and it's actually named after the Miles Davis song.
I was just gonna say
Um,
that. That's dope.
yeah, yeah. So whenever that happens, and we're still working things out, but you guys get the scoop. That's something I want to do because it just, obviously that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, I've thought about it before where I listen to a lot of podcasts, including
Hmm.
yours. And I think music is a big part of those, right? Where like one of the podcasts I listen to, they play music at the end of every one. And I'm like, well, I should just create a Spotify playlist or something that goes with the box. Um, so yeah, yeah, yeah,
You gotta do
It's in
that.
the wheelhouse.
I mean, because let's
yeah.
just keep it honest. Like, if it wasn't for the music, there wouldn't be the Cirocs or the Douces,
Oh, for
stuff
sure,
like
for
that.
sure.
Hypnotic.
Hypnot. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Patron,
I
all
mean, like,
that.
our music has made millions for these brands of alcohol and liquor, because we're going to the clubs to listen to this music and to get that drink that goes with it, or whatever the
There's
case may
literally a
be.
song called "Pasta Courvoisier," and it was the number one hit.
And I
to
mean,
go
It
to go
was.
with your
It
point.
was.
right, and no one was, trust me, my grandfather was drinking Cavassier. You know what I mean?
Right. They don't
Like
know how to
nobody
spell
was
it.
really drinking Cavassier, but also, like people are now, buying bottles of Ace and all this other stuff like that, being in those settings of music settings. So it's definitely like, this industry definitely needs to pay homage to the music of it all. So I think it's a
Well,
great.
no, you're exactly right. I would definitely give you credit for that for sure. And I think you bring up a larger point that is again one of the reasons why I created the business is part of that music is our culture, right? And that's kind of I actually wrestled with naming the brand because I was like, culture is such an overused word these days, but
Yeah,
it makes sense, right? And I
it
was like,
does.
it wasn't trademarked, so I was like, cool, this will work. But it sounds good, and I think it's literally that's what it is. And I think that's part of why it's needed because all of these brands have grown because of our culture, whether it's just the music or just the overall culture. And there's not nearly enough credit financially or any or otherwise for us. So that was
Mhm.
my thing is, I had my job with another company, and I was like, there's people like me that have these brands, hundreds of them, and what am I doing to help them? I've helped all these other brands grow and do great things, and I'm grateful for that. And I would do it all over again. But now I can kind of use what I know and my experience and other things to help people like me grow their brands
Absolutely
and give them that credit. So and that's literally why I did it.
cool.
I got a pitch. So
Okay.
We was like, let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. This is
I
what
got a
this,
pitch,
this is what the show is about.
this kind of coincides with something else that I think you're in the mix with, having an event where you pair either whiskey or rum with cigars, and you have
Of
people
course.
there making cigars, and you can have like a little mini cigar rolling class, and then you have the whiskey or the rum or whatever to pair it with that, and create a whole like vibe, kind of like a Caribbean vibe sort of thing, and maybe even have it at some location like Cuba Libre or something like that. Have them, yeah, I mean, have them have a month long special where that part of their bottle service packages, they have that whiskey or that rum that they feature. Just
You're
saying.
speaking to my old job for sure.
You could, I'm just throwing that out there. If you need a host, you know what I'm saying? I just pitch the ideas, and
This
if it
guy.
sticks to the wall, then it sticks to the wall. I'm just saying.
No, that sounds amazing. You guys might know cigars are like my not my second love. My family and of course is in there, but
Yeah.
cigars are one of my loves. And I actually part of one of my side businesses is in the cigar industry. So that's definitely going to be something that I want to do in the future. Whiskey, rum, even tequila, I pair with cigars, and I think there's
Shout
an
out to
opportunity for that.
Impresario. Can we shout him out? Can we shout out
We
Impresario?
can. That's hey, we could talk
Okay.
about it for sure. Yeah, that's my other business. I sell cigar cases,
Nice.
luxury cigar cases. So it's kind of the cool thing to do. In the cigar culture, was people always you have to take your cigars out in something, right? So whether you're going away for the weekend or you're going to like
Mm-hmm.
a nice cigar lounge, you don't want to bring your cigar in like a Ziploc bag, which I have done
No.
years ago.
Yes.
Party
Yes.
foul. Yeah. So
Yes. It is.
and there are a lot of great cigar cases out there. I think the common denominator for me was they're all very expensive, and
Mm-hmm.
rightfully so. A lot of them are amazing, but I found a way to offer some that are more reasonably priced. So I have some at different prices. One is pretty ultra luxury leathers, like $250 range, but some
Mm-hmm.
other ones are a lot lower, like $60, $75. So
Me
I
and you're
love
gonna
it.
talk.
shameless plug.
Yeah, me and you're gonna talk. So I have other ideas, but
For
I won't get
sure,
into
for
that.
sure.
All right,
Yeah.
I
But
got
yeah,
one.
so I'm all about cigars.
I got
Word
one
up.
last.
Cool.
I got one last one for. It could be for anybody. I was gonna say maybe for the ladies, but I know like it's something like near and dear to me. I'm a huge
Okay.
reader, and I like to sit back with a glass of wine and read. I mean, some black authors
Hmm.
with black owned wine would be definitely cool as well. Just want to say that.
I
Harriet's
think that's a very
Bookshop.
good idea. Yeah, yeah, right.
Just
Or
saying.
Uncle Bobby's even.
Right.
I think that's a great idea. I think I will be remiss if I didn't mention that, the majority of my membership is black women.
Okay.
And that literally is the reason why the March box was what it was, right?
Mm.
So March was International Women's Month. I decided to include all products that were created by Black women. So Ebony Wine, which I showed you guys earlier.
Yeah.
I also included the candle, which was Mango Candle. She's also a Temple alum.
Hey.
Mango Candle Company, yeah. Her candle 89 smells like wine. It smells like red wine. It's amazing.
Ooh.
And I also included a face mask by a local company, Dianu, which is out of Norristown. You guys probably heard of them. I
Mm-hmm.
should grab one before. I should have more of these things available, but
It's all good. You're
yeah, I
you're
decided
giving them
to,
a shout out on the show. You're good.
for sure. I'll make sure to tag everyone. But yeah, I wanted to include all of those products because they're all founded by Black women. And where would I be without Black women? I was raised by an amazing single mom. I have an amazing wife. And I kind of wanted to make sure I paid homage in that way during International Women's Month. So that was just kind of bring with your idea in mind. I think that's something that could work. I'm always open. I think that's the cool thing again about being so early in the state in the journey is that I can make those changes and do things like that. Where I just I want to give to people what they want.
Yeah.
The candle was a big hit. I think people were asking me for that immediately when I started, and I was like, all right, I'll make it
That's
happen.
cool.
And we were able
Yeah.
to do it in March. So
I wouldn't even thought about that. That's such a great idea. That was such a good
the
concept.
candle and wine is like people were all about that.
Word. That's a vibe. That's such a
For
vibe.
sure, for sure, for sure.
Candle wine playlist. It would have just
Yeah.
all
Babies made.
I gotta hire you now, obviously.
Open for business. We'll talk.
just let me know. But like I said in the beginning, we love to have fun around here. So we do like little quick games. So the one thing that comes to mind with seeing your box and us just having a conversation is Black Card Revolt, right? So we're not really gonna go the game with the cards, but I saw this on a social media site one time. Each one of us is going to have to name one thing that could actually get our Black Card Revolt, and we all know
Ooh.
what that Jay's like.
Okay.
I know what mine is because I got toe up on social media about what mine was. So
Really?
just to give you guys an idea, I'm gonna go first. I'm gonna put myself out
Okay.
first, right?
Okay.
So the one thing that would get my Black Card Revolt is that I have never seen an episode of The Wire.
Oh wow.
Ooh.
Oh
You know
wow.
what? I'm almost right there with you. I
Okay.
I saw the first episode one winter when I was trying to binge it, and I just never went back to it. So I'm
I
pretty close.
couldn't get past I could not get past the first episode, Sean. I don't know why. And everyone's like, it's the greatest show ever. And like
It's up there.
I'm a sound.
Well,
I'm a Snowfall girl. Like I watch Snowfall. They're like, you can
Snowfall's
watch
good.
Snowfall, but you can't watch. And I was just like, for some reason, I couldn't get past the first episode.
Dang. People
What?
went at you like that?
Oh, they were like, hand your card
Yeah.
right now.
Whoa.
Like I was getting like all types of gifs sent to me, like girl, like all types of stuff. And I was like, I'm just being honest with you. I've never watched The Wire.
One of these days I'll binge it. We'll see. I mean, I grew up in a neighborhood like that, so I mean,
Yeah.
Right, like I already seen it, right?
Right.
yeah. But I'll watch it one day to see if it's really close.
All right, Jay, you go.
Hmm.
We'll let Sean go last.
Dang. I might have to stay with the TV thing.
Okay.
I never I probably seen clips or scenes, but I've never seen a full episode of Girlfriends.
That
That's
wouldn't get
okay.
you. That wouldn't really. I really couldn't see you sitting watching Girlfriends anyway.
Okay.
Funny.
I gotta think about it.
It's funny, but I mean, you would think like some things were quirky and fun, and the women are beautiful, but I can't really see you sitting down like, oh, I'm gonna watch Girlfriends. Like,
Yeah. I don't know. I gotta think about it. I gotta think about it.
Your black
Put me on the
card's
spot.
is set.
It's still there. Yeah. I really
there.
gotta think. It's one of those things like like unless like we're playing a game or something, then I'd be like, oh yeah, okay. But right now off the top, I really because I'm very in tune to pop culture, so
you
there's
are.
not a lot of things that I haven't seen or watched.
Is there any like food that like culturally like Black people like if you don't like this food, you crazy? or do you like everything?
I kind of like I love like like I'm not a picky person, so I'm just like, all right, cool. I really have to think about that. I really have to think
We know
about that.
someone in common who doesn't bang with mac and cheese.
Really?
Who?
Slap doesn't eat mac and cheese.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, I don't understand that.
And it's not
Well, I
No.
like
mean,
it's not like a lactose thing. He just
I was
don't
about to
like
say
mac
that.
and
I was going to say
no, he doesn't like he just
that.
doesn't like mac and cheese. He's like, it's nasty.
Interesting.
That's
Interesting.
bizarre.
I
Sean,
I
do you
don't
have
shouldn't
know,
eat it,
anything?
man.
but it's amazing.
Sean, do you have anything? Because Jay acting like he,
I don't know. I don't know.
Mine is I can play it, but I don't like playing spades. I'll say that. That's mine.
Nah, that's me too. I know how to play spades. Anybody who's like, yo, let's play
I don't like
spades.
playing it. I don't like playing it.
People are. I'm not trying to get I'm not
I'm
trying to
not
get
trying to
shot or
die.
attacked.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to die.
So
Like
people take spades way too serious.
yeah,
Way
when it comes
too serious.
when it comes to like card games that black folks really play, I'm not versed in it at all. Like Conk and like Rummy, like all those card games, I'm just like I and like spades, like I know how to play, but not enough to go to a table and try to. You know
People
what I mean?
getting like arguments. I'm not
I
trying
just
to.
Oh,
learned
they have grudges for years.
I just learned how to play dominoes. I didn't know how to
Yeah.
play I didn't know how to
Domino's is a good one. Domino's is a good. Well,
I just
I've noticed. So my wife's Jamaican, and I think it's bigger. I don't know if you are Caribbean. I'm not. So
no,
it
my
wasn't
uncle
big,
is and
and
it's huge.
It's
right,
definitely a Caribbean thing.
right. So I mean, because it wasn't that big. I mean, I knew how to play it when I was a kid, but it's really big in Caribbean culture.
Like
So
in the Puerto Rican and Dominican culture, it's huge.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
It's
So it's
huge.
definitely a Caribbean thing.
people gonna kill me for this, but like it was fun, but it was too much like adding off the top of my head, and I was just like, I was drunk, and I'm like, wait a minute, I gotta add up. It's like
Right. You gotta have somebody on
I'm over
point.
here using my fingers. They're like, no, now we know what you're gonna do. It's like, it's,
Sometimes you gotta just guess
I was like, I'm just gonna go.
and
I'm
see
Yeah.
what
just gonna
happens.
go with it. I'm just gonna go with it. But we're gonna wrap this up, and we want to thank you again for being on the show, Sean. But
Thank
we
you.
want everyone to get this box. So how can
Uh-oh.
what?
You froze a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, wait,
And now you're back now.
I'm back now. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So we want everyone to get a taste of the culture box. So how can one subscribe to get one?
Good question. You can visit my website. It's a tasteoftheculture.com. You scroll literally 2 seconds, you'll see a link for memberships. You can also follow us on all social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. There's links there. Can't even talk today. There's links there to subscribe as well. And I must mention, we talked about card games. I'm also going to be including some Black-owned card games in the box coming up.
Yes.
Cool.
So I'm literally trying to create the whole experience, right?
It's a
So
vibe.
there's a couple cool things to look out for. There's a dice game that's actually something that you can use to build your cocktail. It's called the Adventurous Bartender. Really cool woman. She's based out of Texas. You roll the dice. It tells you what spirit, what mixer, what herbs to
Cool.
use, stuff like that. That's going to be in one of the boxes. There's a card game called Blackout that I'll be including in a couple months. I don't know if it's similar. It might be similar to Black Card Revoke. I have to actually get down and look at it, the details of it. But that's going to be in the box pretty soon. So those cool things are going to be there. And again, a tasteoftheculture.com. You can subscribe. It's $85 a month. But you also can purchase our standalone cocktail kits we have a couple different ones. I offer the old boxes. So say you missed a box. If you missed the Blue Royal box, which is in February, you can buy that as its own cocktail box right now. It's the National Margarita Day box. You can purchase
Nice.
that. You'll get everything that was in that box
That's
now.
nice.
So yeah, I try to do everything for the people. And I have some more boxes coming soon with some different spirits that you can purchase all the time. And I'm hoping to, in the late spring and summer, I'm looking to introduce a whiskey only subscription because I know how popular whiskey is these days.
Mhm.
And there are a lot more Black owned whiskeys than people realize. And I want to help, obviously, them realize that. So that's something I'm working on.
And on the website as well, all the brands are listed there too, correct?
They are. So I kind of was losing my mind earlier when we talked about champagne. All the Black owned champagnes that I know of are on the site. There's definitely more than what I mentioned. And I add to it daily. I think that's one of the cool things about this business and this journey is I'm still discovering things. And every time I find something new, I talk to someone new, I add it to the site. So I try to update it as much as I can. There are also videos there of the reviews I've done in the past
Hmm.
that you can check out if you want to learn more about certain brands. And I'm doing the reviews whenever I get free time, which is not much lately, but I'm working on it. And I try to give people a more in-depth thing about the brand. I taste it neat. I make cocktails and really show people what they can do with the brands that I hope to feature or have featured in the past.
Nice. That's what's
Awesome.
up. All right, everyone. This is again
Where
Sean.
can they social
Oh,
media?
he just said a taste of the culture.
Oh, okay. All right. All right. That was
Yeah,
just the website, but
no, you're fine. You're fine. A taste of the
all right.
culture on
My
all
bad.
platforms.
No, you're good.
The only one that's different is Twitter. Twitter is character hating, so it's a
So
taste of
much.
the call one, number one, on Twitter, and then a taste of the culture on Instagram and on Facebook.
Cool. All
Awesome.
right, everyone. Mr. Sean McCloud. I'm the owner of A Taste of the Culture. Make sure you guys go get those boxes and subscribe. And also because we're rooting for everything Black, those Black-owned businesses for the wine and spirits, they're all on his website as well. So check those out. Congratulations. I want to say congratulations to all of those Black-owned owners of those wine and spirits because that's really big. And I can't wait for, maybe there's a day where we can be shopping at a liquor store with all, Black owned wine and spirits as well. So shout out to everyone that you're working with, Sean. And thank you for shining a light on these people because it could have just been very easy for you to tap into your own industry and pick a slew of different spirits and different companies to work with, but you're staying in tune with what's important and which is the culture. So I really appreciate that.
Sean's always been one of
Thank
the
you.
just coolest dudes. Very
Thank
friendly,
you.
just about his business. So definitely support this gentleman right here. He's doing a
Yes.
lot of really cool stuff.
So
Appreciate it,
Jay,
guys.
no problem.
Yeah.
So Jay, speaking for the culture, we have a little bit of an announcement to make, correct?
Yes, and we're gonna have to make sure Sean is tuned into that. But yes,
Yes,
we
we
do.
will. So, as you all know, about 2 years ago, I was able to curate my first big event with Water Ice Radio and partnering with Water Ice as well. And it was my baby, and I was so excited about it. It was called Soul in the City. It was a platform for upcoming artists to have a stage where we can, watch them rock the stage and have a platform and we rocked out, right? We had some of the who's who of Philadelphia come and hit our stage. We had Just Frenchie, we had Suzanne Christine, we had some other people that we had. We had
Project 215,
Project 215. We've also had
Q Banks,
Q Banks. Why can't I remember this person's name? I'm like drawing a blank. Oh, Be Easy was there. He's also a Temple guy.
Yep.
It was just amazing. But as you guys know, last year everything got canceled because of COVID. So Soul in the City Volume 3 was postponed. Well, we are bringing Soul in the City Volume 3 back in May, and it is going to be a virtual event. And even though you guys won't be able to come in person, it is bigger and it's better than ever. And I'm really excited to announce that we're back and we're going to be doing the event. We have three great artists that are going to be a part of this show, and they are all R&B and soul artists, which is my love, and I'm really, really excited about the show.
and it's more than an event. It's definitely gonna be an experience.
Yeah,
You're gonna get to know these artists on an intimate level and experience their journey and how they got to the point where they're at right now. We got a great house band. We have a great venue. It's gonna be really dope. We're really excited for it.
we're
That's
so
great.
we're so excited for it. Watch out for the official announcement on our social media page. You'll get to see who our artists are. You'll get to see who the house band is, and like Jay said, you'll actually get to meet the artists and actually see who they are, and how they got started and everything. It's going to be an amazing venue. It's just going to be great. We're just really excited about it. We're really excited to host it. And I'm just glad that I get to bring my baby back. I'm really excited about that. And hopefully, Volume 4 will be in person when the world opens completely
Mm-hmm.
back up for everybody. So that's it. That is our big announcement tonight. Soul in the City is coming back. Do you have anything else, Jay?
I just want to cheers since we're talking to the spirits guy.
There you
Okay.
go.
Cheers to a taste of the culture, and cheers to Soul in the City Volume 3.
Salute.
Salute.
Cheers. Salute.
So
Thank you so much again, Sean, for coming on. I know you're a busy guy. We
yes,
got you right. We always get everybody right before they blow up, like really, really blow up. So I'm happy that you had the time for us to do this.
yeah,
Hey, I'm not there yet, but I appreciate that. This will be a part of it for sure. This is part
you
of the
are.
journey.
It's on its way for sure.
Hmm.
I appreciate the opportunity for sure.
No
Absolutely.
problem. Everybody, make sure you also are following waterice.com. We are your scoops to everything Philly. Make sure you go there and check out what's going on in the city at all times, whether it's for nightlife, family friendly events, anything that is going on in this city. We know about it, right? And we know about it first. Also, make sure you are subscribing to our mailing list and make sure you check that little tab at the top that says shop. So we
Hmm.
have a lot of amazing merch at our shop on waterice.com. Make
And
sure
some new stuff coming soon.
new stuff coming soon, and make sure you guys are going to go check it out, especially for the summer. Or like, tank tops, t-shirts, all that stuff is coming, so make sure you get ready early. I think that's it, everyone. So you know
That's
how
it.
we always end this show. Not all superheroes wear capes, but sometimes, Jay.
They wear headphones.
All right, everybody, have a nice night.
Peace, y'all.
Peace.